In her new biography, Whoopi Goldberg discusses her mother's terrible mental collapse and how she prevented her from taking her own life when she was younger, as the U.S. Sun can exclusively disclose. The View co-host, Bits and Pieces, My Mother, My Brother, and Me, will be released in raw form. Emma Johnson, her mother, passed away in 2010 following a stroke. It chronicles how she was raised in public housing in New York and was influenced by her family, especially her brother Clyde, who passed away 5 years later from a brain aneurysm. She claimed that even though they had financial difficulties, her mother never intended to apply for welfare and supported her 2 kids by working as a nurse. Whoopi described in the book how one day she arrived home early from elementary school and discovered her mother barefoot, in a slip dress underneath a black trench coat and looking disheveled. Karen Johnson, better known as Whoopi, gave an explanation of how she was muttering incoherently and wasn't aware that she was at home. She remembered the unsettling incident. I watched as she went over to the oven, turned it on, and stuck her head in there. I was old enough to understand that this was not good news. I sprinted over, caught her by the waist, and hauled her out. Whoopi remembered how, as a single parent, she and her elder brother had watched as their mother was taken away in a stretcher. As she was carried into an ambulance and driven to Bellevue, a city mental hospital, she said she felt protective and *** set off as passersby stared at her mother. The 68-year-old celebrity claimed that because family members took turns taking care of the siblings, they did not receive any information on her condition and did not see her for 2 years. When Whoopi's mother came back to their house, she acknowledged that she was a different person, and both her and her brother found it hard to comprehend the circumstances. Eventually, in order to support her kid, she moved to California, recovered, and even went on to earn a master's degree. Whoopi claimed that years later, her mother came clean about how, upon being discharged from the hospital, she had no idea who her kids were but was frantic to avoid being brought back. Emma clarified that her father-in-law and estranged husband had made decisions regarding her health and that she had received electric shock therapy. The actress, who was always close to her mother, learned of her passing from a call she received at work. After leaving the London run of Sister Act, she took a plane back to the United States. She paid homage to her mother on Instagram, calling her one of the best people I've had the privilege of knowing. Her mother earned a master's degree in early childhood teaching from New York University. "I'm not sad, because she had a great time," she replied. "My brother and I made sure my mother had a rich and fulfilling life because she loved to travel and was an avid adventurer. Sometimes I think, who will love me the way that she did? I suppose that's what makes me unhappy. However, I understand that my brother and I are okay since we have each other." Since then, she has shared numerous tributes to her mother-like figure on social media and talked about their special relationship on The View. "The first time I went was in the early 80s, but my mother had always said, 'I'm going to take you and Clyde, that's my brother, I'm gonna take you to Disneyland,' and she never could afford to do it," she recalled. "You know, where do you live, because I feel like I've been in this car for a long time," she stated after I sent her a ticket asking her to come meet me in California. She was clueless as to our destination. On May 7, 2024, Whoopi's autobiography will be made available.